Okay, so today I have decided to come up to Lewes Castle with the pig to have a little look at this amazing place, and also to talk about a little bit of the unknown history of this area and about the people that were here. So we've got to start really with King Henry III, grandson of Henry II, who was a Plantagenet, and there was some relation to King John and Richard the Lionheart. So Henry III, he lived here, and it was he reigned for well over 50 years. I think it was 56 or 57 years, which is an incredibly long reign for a king of his era, or any time before that. I think he's one of the longest reigning kings, bar George the something or other. There's so many names and so many dates, it's incredibly difficult to remember. But anyway, what we need to know now, because I've only just pieced this together myself, is that Henry III's son was called Edward. He was the one that was fighting against Simon de Montfort when the battle took place. But it turns out that Edward was Edward Longshanks of Braveheart fame. He was called Longshanks because he was 6'2", and he was called the Hammer of the Scots because I think he was really at war with them for a very long time. So eventually Henry III got beaten here, one of the first times and only times that royalty was really taken into account for what they were doing. And I think the reason that the barons were unhappy is that Henry III was collecting vast amounts of taxes for his wars, for his own purposes, and really ignoring the needs of the populace. Funnily enough, nothing changes. But yeah, then the barons revolted. Simon de Montfort, he got together a whole load of barons, and they came up on Offham Hill, which I might go and show you, it's over that way. And they came down and they fought this long fight, and eventually they drove Edward back, captured Henry, captured Edward, and they took over and they forced him to... The Mise of Lewes, and the Mise of Lewes was a document that ceded nearly all powers of jurisdiction to Simon de Montfort and his barons. Now, Henry III's father, King John, he had already been forced to sign something called the Magna Carta, which I hope you know about. It's quite an important document, but John basically just completely ignored the Magna Carta, and then that tradition obviously seemed to carry through to his son Henry, who continued also to ignore it, obviously not wanting to give away their power and to have their thrones taken away and their power given over to Parliament. They were not too happy about that, so yeah, they were really fighting against giving the power back to the people, as as power always will.